There is so much talk in the entrepreneurial space right now about why and how successful entrepreneurs are the ones who hustle the hardest, are the ones who push the hardest, are the ones who set and achieve the most smart goals. And I'm here to disagree with that and to show you and teach you a better way to build your business, one that is more in line with your goals for living a life with passion, for living a life and running a business where you work on your own terms and where you feel that freedom. When I was running my last business and when I started Life with Passion, I was great at setting SMART goals. And what that got me was not an increase in income, was not an increase in how much I enjoyed my business, but it was an increase in stress and pressure and the amount of time that I was working until I nearly hit burnout. And what happened along the way is that I almost wrecked my dream business. And I put so much unnecessary stress on my family, on my relationships with my friends, on myself, on my health, and I caused myself and the people around me a lot of pain in the process because I was so focused on setting SMART goals. I'm going to say something kind of radical. I believe that SMART goals do not get you where you want to be. And I believe there's a better way, and that is what I want to teach you today. So if you stick with me for the next about 30 minutes, I am going to teach you what to do instead, and I'm going to give you specific examples for your business of how to set better goals and get better results, and yes, increase your productivity without ever having to set another SMART goal. So if you are tired of setting goals month after month, then getting to the end of the month and being frustrated by not hitting the goal you excitedly set on the first of the month. Maybe you're even experiencing that this month. Maybe you've declared this time would be different, right? On the first of the month, you were like, oh, this time is going to be different than all the other times before. I'm going to set a new goal. I'm going to get excited about it. And I am going to hope that somehow it magically works differently this time. Have you been there? Let me know. I've been there. I know just how depressing that can be. And I want to teach you a better way. Because SMART goals, as popular as they are, don't work for many high achievers. And it's not because you're not good at creating them. So we're going to talk about what the heck a SMART goal is. We're going to talk about why they haven't been working for you no matter how hard you try. And talk about that first. Second, I'm going to teach you this surprising and countercultural thing to do instead. And this is something that's been working like magic for me and my clients. And I'm going to help you right here on this live stream to set your next business goal so that it actually works for you and your goals for your life, rather than doing the same thing over and over again and hoping that next month is different, right? Okay, here's what I know about high achievers. Here's what I know about high achievers. And I want you to tell me if you agree with this or not. Has anyone ever said to you, you know, you're really hard on yourself. You know, you expect a lot of yourself. You know, you put a lot of pressure on yourself. Has anyone ever said any of those things to you? I'd love to hear. Because that's something that I hear a lot from the people who know me, and it's also something that my clients hear a whole lot too. You know, you're really good at putting pressure on yourself. You know, you're really hard on yourself. You're harder on yourself than anyone else ever is. You expect so much of yourself. You're a perfectionist. You have such high standards for yourself, right? It comes in all shapes and sizes, this observation from the people around us. But it's a pretty common trait of being a high achiever. Now, let's define what a SMART goal is. You may know this. You may have a slightly different definition. There are a few different ways that these can be defined. These are the words that I have chosen for today. A SMART goal, SMART being an acronym, which is why it's capitalized, is specific, it's measurable, it's actionable, it's realistic, and it's time-based. Sometimes even defined as time-bound. Now, I see you all saying that your husband tells you that all the time, Jenny. Jackie says, I've heard people say this about me. Yes, okay. So when we set a SMART goal, a specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time-based, or even time-bound goal, here is what we are doing. We are taking that pressure that we put on ourselves, and we are externalizing it in the form of a goal. We are taking that level of pressure that we attach to making ourselves successful, and we say, this is what feels normal to me. I expect more of myself than anyone else. I am a perfectionist. I have really high standards for myself. This SMART goal is naturally going to help me get even better. But what it actually does instead is it adds another level of pressure, adds another level of being really attached to a very specific outcome, adds another level of trying to control the way that our business looks and works and the outcome. It externalizes on paper for us so that we can stare at it every day and read it out loud and whatever, the very pressure we are already putting on ourselves so much from the inside. And it leaves out one very important, nay, even crucial aspect of business building that it doesn't even address. And I'm going to come back around to that in a minute because you cannot miss that. And a hi to everyone jumping on. Hey, Sarah, so good to see you here. So here's a question that I want you to consider. Now that we have defined SMART goals and what they do to us, I want you to tell me in the comments, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, when you set a time-specific goal to get clients or income, like I will get 5 clients by the end of the month, I will have a 5K month, I will have a 10K month, and I will do this by selling 5 clients into my program. When you set a goal like that for yourself, do you hit it? The first option is A, always, B, sometimes, or C, never, and I beat myself up because I don't hit it. All right, let me repeat the question. When you set a time-specific goal to get clients or income by a certain date, maybe it's by the end of the month, maybe it's by the end of the year, whatever, I will get X number of clients by this date, or I will make this amount of money by this date, and the way that I will do this is by XYZ selling this many packages, whatever. Do I A, always hit it, B, sometimes hit it, or C, never hit it and I beat myself up about it? I'd love to hear your answers, so fill me in. And then I'm going to share the first thing that you can do to shift this. I'm seeing Jackie say C, never, and I beat myself up about it. Kim say C, never, and I beat myself up about it. Thank you for sharing that so openly and honestly, because listen, When I set SMART goals, I was right there with you. Now, the first shift that I want to offer you, and this is the surprising and countercultural thing to do instead, right? First, we defined why your SMART goals aren't working for you, no matter how hard you try. Next, we're going to talk about the surprising and countercultural thing to do instead that's been working like magic for me and my clients. The question that I want you to ask yourself is, what would be the most fun way to hit my goal? That's the first question I want you to ask yourself. What would be the most fun way to hit my goal? What if I didn't have to do the things that the gurus are saying? What if I didn't have to work until 3 a.m.? What if I didn't have to set up a funnel? What if I didn't need a massive email list? What if I didn't have to go on Facebook Live if that freaks me out? What if I didn't need a website? What if I didn't need any of these things? And instead, what would be the most fun way to hit my goal? I'll give you an example. A client came to me. We only had one call to accomplish in our time together. So it's like a mini intensive. And she said, my goal is to get 3 clients this month. My goal is to get 3 clients this month, and I want to launch a group program. So my goal is to get 3 clients in this group program. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to do whatever it takes to do this. Now, what's implied behind the lines? I won't be okay. My business won't be okay unless I get 3 clients in my group program. And it needs to look like this. And since SMART goals hadn't been working for her before, where did that put her? In a place of heading toward not being okay. So what did we do in just one call together? We determined what would be the most fun way to make money in her business this month. We took the pressure gauge down. I know that this might sound really counterintuitive to somebody who's used to setting SMART goals, but hey, if you never hit them, it's time to look at something different, right? So what if you allowed yourself to have some fun with this? Because the point of the business that you're building is not to do something harder than your 9 to 5, right? It's to do things on your own terms in a way that feels really good, dare I say, to have a life with passion, right? Do things on your own terms, to make your own decisions, to work with who you want to work with, to make money that you want to make on your own terms, right? So what happened with my client? We took the pressure off of it needing to look like 3 clients in her group program this month, or else everything is a disaster. And when we took the pressure off, we made a plan for her to show up consistently, talking about the things that she was really excited about. And a prospect who wasn't even on her radar, who was not a fit for her group program, reached out to her and wanted to become a painful one-on-one client. And that client would more than pay for the 3 group coaching spots that she wanted to sell, and be a lot less work because she was already set up to serve her one-on-one and didn't need to go create the group program first. If she had only been attached to that SMART goal of like, the only way my business can make money here is to get 3 clients in my group coaching program by the end of the month, she would not have been open to money coming in whatever form was best, right? And whatever form was best for her and for her clients. That's such a great example of taking the pressure off and having something better, right? There's that intention that says this or something better. And that is such a better goal than, oh my gosh, it has to happen by the end of the month and it has to look like this. And listen, I know that some of the big gurus, if I'm not mistaken, even like Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the great self-help and business foundational books of all time, teaches the SMART goals method. But I'm going to be countercultural and say that's an outdated paradigm. That doesn't work for high achievers, because more pressure is not the path to a passion-based business. If you've been using SMART goals and they ain't working for you, it's not you. It's not that you're not setting good enough goals. It's not that you're taking the wrong action. It's that the pressure you're putting on yourself every day when you stare at that number, when you read that, when you post it up somewhere, is literally shutting down the creative pathways in your brain, and the stress is causing you not to show up as your best self or to take the best actions in your business. Because I believe that you can't push, force, or hustle your way into a life with passion. And frankly, that's not the point anyway. The point is not to relax when you make 6 figures, or when you quit the job, or when you have $1 million. If you didn't act the way that you want to act and be in the world to get to replacing your income, to get to 6 figures, to get to whatever your goal is, if you didn't act in such a way like you imagine living, relaxed and free, if you didn't act in such a way to get you to your goal, when you hit your goal, your brain will not believe that you're allowed to act that way, because it's not used to it. It won't magically go, oh, now we can relax, we've hit this goal. It will go, oh my gosh, I have to keep acting this way in order to sustain this level of success. I have to keep pushing. I have to keep striving. I have to keep hustling. I have to keep putting pressure on myself. And if that hasn't worked for you yet, it's not going to work for you to create a sustainable, freedom, and passion-based business. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't do any work. It doesn't mean that we don't get uncomfortable, right? That we don't ever do something that we're uncomfortable with or outside our comfort zone, whether that's sending a newsletter or reaching out in an individual email or doing a Facebook Live or dealing with technology when we're running an online business, right? But that's not the whole thing. I promised you that I was going to talk about what a SMART goal leaves out. What a SMART goal leaves out. A SMART goal leaves out mindset. It leaves out mindset. Because what you do when you set a SMART goal is you employ employee mentality. You use employee mentality. You use old school, outdated paradigms. I keep bumping this table. I really want to show off these birthday flowers. Sorry, a little side there. When you use SMART goals, you are using outdated employee mentality and trying to shove that into the entrepreneur's paradigm. Thinking and acting like an employee does not serve you on your path to becoming a successful entrepreneur. And SMART goals do not address mindset. Here's what I know about mindset. When the mindset is strong, the strategy is simple. And because SMART goals only address strategy and they leave out mindset, they are missing a key component required for true freedom and passion-based success in your business. Does that make sense? Let me know if you have any questions about that. Here's another tip for you, because I promised that I would help you learn how to set a better goal and teach you how to set your next business goal so that it actually works for you. So the first question that we asked was, what would be the most fun way to do this? Now, the second thing that I want you to do is this is radical, I want you to take off the time constraints. I want you to take off the time constraints on any given goal that you create for yourself. Now, that might make you nervous because you might say, well, Christine, then that will make me lazy. But if you're, and I won't do anything about it, but if you're a high achiever, has anyone ever described you as lazy? Let me know in the comments if you've ever been called lazy. Or has anyone ever said things to you instead like, man, you really seem to have a hard time relaxing. You work all the time. You work so hard. You can't sit still. You're never not busy. Chances are you hear more things like the latter than that someone is calling you lazy. Okay? Okay. So, I want you to consider, again, if SMART goals aren't working for you, what's it going to hurt to try something different? I want you to take off the time constraints with your goals. Here's an example from my own life. I used to set a SMART goal every dang month. And I totally used it as a way to get excited at the beginning of the month, but immediately began stressing about how it was going to happen. If a time-bound goal hasn't worked for you yet, recognize that it's not the strategy for you, no matter how many books or articles or videos you read that tell you it is. Because here's what happens when we set these goals. We are implying that our goal is to have one big month or one big quarter. What happens if we get close to our goal or maybe even hit it by some miracle using a SMART goal with all this pressure on ourselves? Here's what I see all the time. It used to happen to me. It happens to my clients. If they're putting the pressure on themselves, they immediately start freaking out about how to replicate their success. Oh my gosh, I just had my first 5K month. Oh my gosh, I just had my first 7K month. Oh my gosh, I just got my first client. How do I do it again? Right? If you do that, if you celebrate for a few seconds, it's exciting to see that money hit, and then you immediately start trying to control it, putting pressure on it, and figuring out how you can replicate it for yourself next month. That is not a sustainable way to build a business. One big month and freaking out about it is not a sustainable way to build a business. If you've been there, let me know. All right, so I want you to consider taking off the time constraints and instead setting a goal that feels really exciting and fun, but takes off the pressure. Takes off the pressure to see if that works any better for you to act from a place of joy and excitement and fun in your business rather than pressure and hustle and never enoughness. Okay, so I want to give you another example about how to take off the pressure and the results that you can have around that. I had a client who had a half-day intensive, and she had just announced her coaching offer. And she wanted to use this intensive to figure out what to do next to promote or fill that offer, promote and fill. And she also knew that one of her goals was to launch a group program. And so she wanted to use these first few clients in her initial offer to lay the groundwork for her launch. She was putting so much pressure on herself and pushing herself so hard to make it perfect, to want to make people sign up. But she felt scared. She didn't want to come across as salesy. And so she was trying to figure out these really high-level strategies to reach cold traffic, like webinars and challenges and things like that. But when we took a look at what was really going on during that half-day intensive, what we realized was that the underlying problem was that she actually wasn't confident in her offer. And let me tell you something. That's something that no SMART goal can fix for you. That's something that no SMART goal can fix for you. So we addressed that together because I knew that that was the thing that was holding her back, right? Not being capable, not being able to put out an offer, not being able to put out a post. None of that was the actual underlying thing. It was her confidence in her offer and her ability to sell in a way that wasn't salesy. I know that's something most high achievers struggle with, self-doubt and lack of confidence, right? I just was emailing with a client this morning who said, I realized that inner belief is a struggle for me. And I said, hey, it's a struggle for all of us who aren't narcissists. Don't make yourself wrong for it, right? High achievers tend to a fault, struggle with self-doubt and lack of confidence. It's just part of our work. It's just part of our journey. So in this case, on the intensive, we took a look at what she was already doing, and we realized she had 3 very warm leads to follow up first. So we designed an individual strategy for each of them based on her relationships with them, based on where they were in the process of deciding to work with her. And in addition to that strategy, we got her totally sold on how she's going to help each of those people and then beyond, which made that follow-up with those 3 warm leads easy. She got off of the intensive. She went and did it, and she booked her first paying client for that offer the day after. Boom. Right? So good. So share with you 2 tips that you can do to set your specific goal, and that's in a non-smart, that sounds like the opposite of smart, and without this smart framework that ain't so smart for you. Okay, here's a bonus tip for you. Another way that I can see smart goals sabotaging our success, or being the opposite of smart for us, is when we start a goal from the mindset of I should, or I have to, or I need to. Now, if you're watching this live or on the replay, I would love to hear, is this resonating? Are these some tips that you want to try? Let me know. These are like the exact things that I work with my clients on to help them overcome this smart mentality and get better results. So let me know in the comments. If you are approaching your SMART goal from a mindset of I should, or I have to, or I need to, chances are those are great indicative words of you putting pressure or pushing yourself to do something, which is not where we want to come from. It's not the new paradigm of what's actually working in business for high achievers, all right? Things like, I should make more offers. Well, I should make myself sell because, of course, I want and need to make money. I have to figure out a way to go on Facebook Live because that's what someone told me is the new thing. I really need to be doing my website, or, you know, getting visible, or I really need to decide on a price, or I just freaking need to design a package. Can you feel the heaviness in that? And more than how it feels, the greater question is, does that actually make you do it? Telling yourself you should, or you have to, or you need to? I think there's this way in which we think it will, but in reality, because it makes us feel more pressure, a lot of times that's exactly what leads to procrastination. It's exactly what leads to procrastination. And I think most of us who are high achievers not only deal with perfectionism, but we also deal with procrastination. And procrastination comes from unresolved emotions, a lot of times fear or uncertainty. And when we try to rationalize with fear or uncertainty, guess what happens? That doesn't work, because that comes from inside. That comes from our mindset. That comes from our mindset. And mindset is not fixed by SMART goals. Mindset is not fixed by telling yourself you should, or telling yourself you have to, or telling yourself you need to. So I want you to instead ask yourself, what would be a fun way to make this amount of money? What would be the most fun way to get this number of clients? What would be the most joyful way, right? We all want more joy. We all want more happiness. We all want more fun. And the way to get that in your business is not by acting like it's a hustle, hard chore. Because it's not going to feel fun when you're doing it or when you get it, if that's the method you use to get it. Does that make sense? Okay. So another example for you, because I think it's really important that you can see how this works in actuality. I had a client who worked with me in a half-day intensive because she was feeling so much pressure on how to sell without feeling salesy. And she used that intensive to get clarity on how to pitch her services. We designed a price point and payment options that felt good to her. She got super clear on who she wanted to work with, how much she wanted to charge them to work with her, and even we created the exact messaging so that she could walk away immediately and start to use messaging that felt good to sell it. We designed that together. And what she said at the end was, I actually have clients now, and I can see what's possible to scale that to my next few clients and toward income replacing 9-to-5 quitting, making herself unemployable, right? Guaranteeing she's unemployable because she's running her own successful business for good, right? So one of the most common questions that I get about setting better goals, about taking the pressure off, about what is going on to make this more fun is, Christine, how can I do this for myself individually? What's the next step for me and my business, right? How can I engage with you further outside of this live? How can I work with you more? The answer is, I have a very special offer for you. You all are the first to know about it. And it includes a half-day intensive that you can sign up for to help you set the right kind of goals and to help you get fast results and bust through this cycle of doing the same thing over and over, setting those SMART goals that aren't working for you. Now, what I am doing for Black Friday, so for the next 9 days, is I have created a package between now and Wednesday, November 28th, where you can work with me in this private one-on-one half-day intensive. You can get bonuses of my 2 most popular self-study programs, Know Your Niche and the Business Basics Bootcamp, to work through before we have our intensive so that you are completely set up for super fast success during our time together. And I will hand select for you a module from my group program, the Income Replacement Live, to fit your goals for the intensive so that you have a workbook to work through before we meet. You have that pre-work designed to set you up for success, get you so much clarity so we can get even faster results during our half day together. Now, normally all of this together would cost over $2,000. And my clients, my one-on-one clients, pay up to $9,000 to work with me privately. But for my extended Black Friday promotion over the next 9 days, between now and Wednesday, the 28th, I am offering all of this to you for $200 off the cost of the intensive alone. So $200 the cost off the intensive alone. Bonuses are my gift to you. That makes the price $12.47 for a half day with me. You and me going deep on your business, setting the right kind of goals, setting you up for success. 3 months worth of work in 3 hours to skyrocket your success, you and me. Now, here's the thing. You have 2 choices here, right? You can take what I've shared with you, which is exactly the steps to create better than SMART goals. It's a lot better of a way to say it than non-SMART goals, right? You can take what I've taught you in this framework and do it all on your own, or you can do it with me and get it done really fast. Because what I know to be true is that, as one of my clients shared, she got more done with me in this framework, in the immediacy of a half-day intensive, than she had in the previous 6 months combined in her business. And what I see so often is people trying to do this on their own and then coming back around to me 6 months later and saying, oh my gosh, I wish I would have done this 6 months or even a year ago, because it's cost me so much in both time and money to try to figure out how to do it on my own. So picture knowing exactly how you're going to reach out about your offer, exactly what you're going to price it as, exactly how you're going to follow up on it. Picture money coming in consistently in your business, real income replacing money, right? And think about what just a couple of new customers, which we can create in our time together, would be worth to you. Now, because this is only available until Wednesday the 28th, and because my calendar is busy serving my one-on-one clients and my group, there are only 5 spots. So there are 5 spots on my calendar to work with me in this way at this price. And I encourage you to book a call to chat with me to make sure it's a good fit for you. We'll have a 30-minute complimentary clarity call. We'll talk about your goals for the intensive. You can make sure it feels like a good fit. And when you book that call by next Wednesday, you're eligible for this offer as long as the 5 spots are still available, as long as there's 1 spot of the 5 spots still available. Now, the other thing that I want to do is explain to you why I'm incentivizing this. Because sometimes I think that like we just are used to like bonuses and, you know, price discounts and stuff, and it's just kind of like the way that business is done. But what I want to explain to you is why I decided to do this. Why I decided to offer a Black Friday special. Not just because everybody else is doing it. In fact, I wasn't even planning on doing it. But to be honest with you, I know that it's human nature to put off getting support, to put off investing in yourself, to wait until you feel ready, to wait until it feels like the perfect time, or to wait until you're not busy. But here's what I know to be true, especially for us high achievers. You're never not going to be busy. You're never not going to be busy. So I put this together to help you take action, right? To give you $200 off, to stack these bonuses for you, to help you to make a decision, because I know that this half-day intensive with me will change your life and business for the better. And I'm so confident in that I want to help you make a decision. Because most of you who have heard my story, if you've been around for a little while even, you know that the thing that woke me up to living my own life with passion to starting this business to helping high achievers like you replace their incomes and then some and get out of your job and do what you love and show up with your unique gifts in the world. The thing that got me to finally show up in this way and do this work was a tragedy. It was a tragedy. It was the loss of my first daughter. And my why is to help you go from surviving to thriving. And I believe that entrepreneurship, if you have a desire to do it, is the best and quickest and most exciting way to go from surviving to thriving. I don't want you to wait for a tragedy to wake up to living your dreams. I want you to live your dreams. I want you to be get free, stay free, build a passion-based, freedom-based business that you love. That's what I want most. And that is why I share all of this with you today. That's why I want you to do something better than SMART goals. That's why I want you to consider working with me in a half-day intensive, especially while I have this special. Now, I'm going to post a link in the comments for you to book a call with me if you want to discuss this further. This SMART goal, busting the SMART goal framework, moving into a living like you're running a passion-based business is my desire for you. That you wake up every day excited about what you're doing, that you don't dread your tasks, that you don't take that employee mentality and push it down on your dream business, that you go, hey, Christine, I am ready to wake up to my dreams. I'm ready to live like I am living my dreams. I am not waiting for a trauma or a tragedy to wake me up. Now is my time, and I'm taking action toward that. If you have questions about SMART goals and what to do instead, if you have questions about this Black Friday offer, if you have questions for me about what I've shared, tag me below, share with me below. Let me know your biggest takeaway from this message. And remember, SMART goals don't work for high achievers like you and me. What does is, as counterintuitive as it might seem, this is the new paradigm. Aligning your goals to feeling passionate, to feeling joyful, to feeling alive and free and fun. And that's what's going to help you get there. That's what's going to help you get there faster. That's what's going to help you get there no matter what you've already experienced in your life. Turning whatever you've experienced, the hardships, the great things, all of your experiences for good, like I have. And I'm honored to be a part of that with you. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.